All right, looks like we are live. And good evening to everyone, and welcome to today's session of E-Meet Your Design and Fashion School, where you get to meet and interact with the top management of each school. You understand the academic philosophy, right? So this is most important because once you understand their philosophy, you kind of evaluate whether you want to apply to the school or not, and you apply to the school if it aligns with what your preferences are. And that's really what we want to do. For those of you who missed the previous webinars on writing the perfect SOP, you all can go through our past YouTube channel. Also, we've covered this webinar called Navigating Design School Admissions. Again, a very interesting webinar which covers the reasons or the logic that you need to use while selecting a school. If you've missed the WhatsApp groups, please click on this and you will be able to get into the WhatsApp groups. Uh, if you'd like, you all can scan these QR codes for now. The link to this webinar is and this deck is in this in the description of this webinar, right? So I'm going to, hold on, stop my screen share, and I'm going to, just a second. Don't know what happened. Yeah, sorry about that. Right. And of course, while you go through that webinar, you know that one of the key schools that we've spoken about time and again is UID Ahmedabad, or United World Institute of Design Ahmedabad, right? So please make sure you'll click on this application link. I'm going to copy and paste this application link in the description of this of this webinar, and in the YouTube chat as well. So that's where you can access it. But representing United World School Institute of Design, we have Colonel Surojit Bose, who's the Director of Academics and International Collaborations. Um, I've known him for a very, very long time, and he's a dear friend, and he works tremendously to make sure that the academic experiences of every student is absolutely top class. Okay. And he is responsible for the collaborations, the global collaborations for students so that they work at the exchange programs and all those levels. He's a visionary when it comes to academics, and we are very happy to have Colonel Bose out there, right? Next, we have Professor Manisha Mohan, who's the Dean of Academics at United World Institute of Design. Uh, Professor Manisha Mohan, of course, she's an alumnus of NID and has over 25 years of experience in design, e-learning, animation, game design, instructional design, UI, UX, and AR and VR, right? So it gives you a sense that she's very current with the future trends of design. And of course, she's worked across industry. She's at various leadership level roles. She's been at the board of directors for various organizations, and also a member of the CII National Design Committee, right? So, yeah, there's a lot that you can read up about her, but I'm going to go back to this webinar, the primary reason why we are here. And now I'm going to hand it over to Colonel Bose and Professor Manisha Mohan. Thank you so much to both of you all for being here.
Good evening and a good day to all who have joined. I think Dion is, one of our dearest friends. We have been working very closely. And would you believe that he would like us to come to Bangalore very soon out of Delhi and the Bombay camp, our Delhi and Ahmedabad campus? For those who haven't come, this is nearly a 34-acre campus, very creatively built. All the time we are on the building mode. The latest being a 60 computer lab on AI with NVIDIA. And the description of Professor Manisha Mohan brought us that we have moved from animation and digital design to a pure area of animation and gaming. Our faculty are gamers, they are game developers, and we now have a 40 computer, a very high, heavy duty lab with HP servers for our animation and game design, which has moved now into a whole new department. Welcome to today's talk. We have limited time, so let me just bring in a few areas and lest we'll have a recap. Our vision is to be a global leader. Our vision is to be the lodestone of academic leadership, academic management, very, very robust academic systems and processes. And how do we say that? And you can't say anything in today's, even to a child, without evidence. See the type of faculty we have got, 150 hardcore faculty from all the best schools of India and abroad. We have faculty from Otago, we have faculty of Marangoni, we have faculty from Arts University, California. Our new head of fashion and styling after 20 years. He's been the guru of Manish Malhotra, JJ Valaya, Rahul, not Rahul, Rahul's from NID, rest, some of the top designers. And they generally all the time are reflecting on the type of. We have Professor Dheeraj, who's raised NID for the last 5 years as one of our directors and heads of education, who looks after both the campuses. We have some of the topmost names who have joined in the senior leadership team. So what that behaves is that we have been seen as nearly a cradle for leadership in the area of higher education in design. The curriculum gets made here. We go through the entire university processes. We wish, and everything is at the global standard. So while measuring up to the NEP 2020, which gives us the structure for how the curriculum has to be curated with two major mantras. The one mantra is how to look at design and emerging tech, how to fuse them so that machine learning, IoT, AI, and everything becomes the real toolkit of any education, any student who is graduating from here. The other is to build certain amount of Indian knowledge system to give them a lot of grounding on what as Indians we are and what we can export to the world. Very few institutes in, I think, India have 3 or 4 areas. One is students go stay in villages for a week plus for what do we call the discover design in India. They go to far corners, they research, they value add to the lives of and livelihoods of communities, art communities, and make them through various multidisciplinary, where the product designer, the visual communicator, and many get through to make their products which can be seen and which can be shown in global platforms, in exhibitions, in art, craft exhibitions. So that's the other part of it. This year, we have taken few major decisions. We have put the entire 12 to 13 sections of design first year, which is semester 1 and 2, which is called Foundation Studies, as under one head, that's Professor Dheeraj Kumar, and about another 35 faculty members, multidisciplinary, to give them the base, a very rock solid base to build their careers and to build their programs ahead. The next is getting to teach Introduction to AI and application of AI between semesters 1 and 2. We have some of the time-tested open electives that you are a product designer, but you do an open elective in visual communication or in animation, or even do clay sculpting with the transportation design. And they love it when they do something outside. It gives them a lot of additional skills Then is elective. So fashion would have an elective of very lingerie design. They would have on the fashion communication. They would have on certain kids wear, certain areas where they can explore circular economy, sustainability. These are some of the buzzwords which our students have as an additional skill set when they go up to their placement. The year four is full of being seen in various institutions, various companies, various startups. And at the end, somewhere, I'll show you the something which is our placement brochure, where people have been to the Rahul Mishras and Tarun Tehliani's and Landor and Saatchi and Fitch and some of the topmost branded companies. So that's something we have this year taken as a core mandate. Then how do we do that mandate? The first portfolio after they have finished their entry, which is a three-tier admission process, which Dion would explain at certain times, is that come the third semester, they have some body of work. We do the first interaction to look at their portfolios. Come semester five, by even before they reach semester six, which is in the year three, their portfolio gets through a mentored process. We have something called the graded portfolio management. But the best part is that these are not assessed or evaluated by our faculty. A design head of a company, someone who has been a very veteran in NID, SEP, MSU, some of the top who have had years and years of experience, and many of them have been seniors of our worthy dean who come to campus to assess and give a grading of what all needs to improve. The next stage is once they come back from internship, when they come back in the month of September, by the last week of October, they have to submit their internships, their portfolios, which then the entire placement team takes it forward and tosses it, sends it. Would you believe that yesterday there was a team, product development team from Adobe, on working and with our faculty and students working on some of the use cases which they want. Today there was NVIDIA in campus where we are talking about how to move the NVIDIA server, NVIDIA card initially to look at how students will start working with AI. SCAD, there are many pictures, I'm sure it will go to social media. A house full where the team from SCAD, which is, I think, one of the topmost universities, and I was there in the month of July for about 10 days in USA in trying to bring a number of USA institutions to be part of our global design program. Placements are of three types, and you'll see, and I'm sure at some time our placement brochure will get shown and sent to all the parents, where we have in campus, out of campus, and certain amount of interviews where people go to a particular company. So how do we bring that industry connect? Our industry connect is through field trips, visits. We have a mandate that two CEOs, two see someone from the head design team comes to campus and meets our students. Not always would it be on a master class, but every week, two top from the top leadership, we engage with them, bring them to campus, and then there's a sort of a interaction with students who would like to know and they would like to see us. So these are some of the areas in which we have a number of what you call initiatives, so that at the end, at somewhere when you go around the industry, there's a UID place there. Internationally, at each stage, we have improved our status, standing, and the MOUs, while we are working with a number of institutes in Australia for the second year, which is a semester abroad, SAP 1, about 50 credit points of the Australian system with Swinburne. In the next, we do 30 CTS with Polymie. Now, Polymie is one of the topmost institutes of Italy. And next, they will go to SCAD, which is number one in service design. So in a way, we are bringing a lot of international faculty. Bruno and Elena are coming in the month of December. We have a system that there's a fixed payment. There are faculty across various countries who come for a month, and sometimes they stay on for 6 months for a lot of international perspective. We'll soon have a leader from international, from a country we are talking for heading the interaction design department. So there's every day, there's a lot of excitement which happens in the UID. We are much very charged to make it not only one of the best in India and Southeast Asia, but while like our infrastructure, which is globally benchmarked, uh, we would ask you, request you to please visit and see the infrastructures, which is a gold standard and nearly of all the aspects from Felder machine of our Center of Excellence, for the Ultimaker 3D printers, for the AR, VR hologram. Uh, I would say that we have also visited many institutions across the globe. You'll find that everything is of global standard. And we pay a lot of attention to L, T, and P, which is that lectures, theories, very tutorial with mentors and faculty in the workshops, in the studios, in the labs. So that's something very exciting that we will have a next year, which is again chock-a-block with students. Uh, the laughter, the energy, the engagement with these, with industry, with master classes in the classroom is something to see, to believe. With that, I'll hand over and not take too much of time. Manisha ma'am will tell us a lot about what academic structures we have built in, how we are really beyond the bar and much ahead in trying to bring academics as the core function of UID.
Thank you so much, Colonel Bose. That was a great overview from your side, and I don't have too much to add, but I really want to say it's a pleasure to meet all of you, meet all of you. I think design is a really exciting profession. Having been a designer all my life, a practicing designer, and then an academic here at UID, I would say that it's the most fulfilling profession. So those of you who are looking for design as a profession, I think you're making a great choice. It's much more booming than it was many years ago. There are a lot of opportunities across industry, across academia, in India and globally. So this is really the right time to choose design as a profession. And I can say that there's no better place than UID to take this up because it is the largest design institute in the country. It has every possible important specialization for the world, right from visual communication to product design and automotive design, animation and game design, fashion design, you name it, and interaction design as a great one, and game design. So it's really, it should answer to each of your passions and your vision for yourself for the future. And we have, as Colonel said, a great infrastructure, the best of faculty who have experience internationally as well as from some of the top design institutes who also worked in the industry, because we believe that design is a practicing profession. It's about solving people's needs. And we even our faculty are practitioners. So many of them are practitioners and they also come and teach as adjunct, and many are full time. But they do have a view of the critical skills required in the design industry. So we're really building designers for the future. Our curriculum is carefully curated with inputs from the industry experts as well as international experts. And at every stage, we try to give a lot of exposure in the industry to the students, starting right from apprenticeship at an early stage where you get to observe a company and be a part of the process, to internship, and even the graduation project is with the industry. And as Colonel said, we have master classes by experts not only from India but from abroad. So it is in many ways very fulfilling. And we put a lot of stress and rigor into the curriculum because design is also a very competitive field today. So we do we do make sure that there are a lot of assignments, a lot of work at every stage, and it's very experiential in the workshop and in the labs. And then really trying to make sense out of it from the learning, the theory perspective also, so that you're really prepared for the landscape of design. So maybe I can bring up a few slides so that you just get a picture of what UID looks like. I think we've covered most of the points we want to, but this is more in terms of just giving you some images to take with you. Bear with me for a moment. So so this is just the vision of UID: big, bold, strong, and as I said, larger than life. It's a great institute to be in. Our vision is to be a global leader in design education, research, innovation rooted in Indian knowledge systems at the forefront of emerging technologies, blended with values and commitment to society. So that is very important because on one hand, we explore the crafts of the world. We are really rooted in the Indian tradition in many ways. And at the same time, emerging technologies such as AR, VR, AI. AI is very important, in fact. Right from the foundation stage, you're exposed to fundamentals of AI. And it is woven into the curriculum quite seamlessly as you progress through the 4 years. And the commitment to society and the ethics is a very important part of our course and our program, because ultimately, as designers, we are here for others and we want to make a difference to the country in many ways. And Ahmedabad is a great location. It's also one of the oldest sort of cradles of human civilization. So when you come here, there is exciting architecture, and the whole place actually breeds design. So it's very rich in that culture. But we also have an NCR campus. So both the campuses are very exciting from a design perspective, and it is also a very design-rich city, at least Ahmedabad as well as Delhi. And I'll share a video. Girl, would you also like to add anything here?
I'm a little bit of a time crunch. Record in front of this.
Sorry?
No, please carry on. Just
Yeah.
a little bit fast.
Right. And this is at our Ahmedabad campus. So design is all about envisioning, realizing new products, thinking of the future really, because designers are really responsible for the future and building a world for future users, future doctors, future uh, children, really, fulfilling different needs of different people across industry, across academia, and all over. And we are well structured from all perspectives to not only be strong in academics, but also strong in research. We have a core quality team that is actually taking care of everything that we teach, making sure that it is up to industry standards. It is also following all the UGC regulations and making sure that what we deliver to in the classroom is well thought out, well curated, and really preparing you for the entire design industry. And we have several achievements that we are proud of, such as, we've been a part of, Adobe is very much a part of our curriculum and course. And we have participated in the Adobe Edu Summit, and our students, the best part is our students have access to Adobe right from the beginning. And that is the key software for designers. And we ensure that all of them become very proficient right from day one. And the fact is that design education and the world of design is changing a lot. And it is not just about what you draw with a pencil or what you create with clay or wood. It is actually a strategic design tool. It is a strategic tool, and a lot of designers are entering into really the leadership team of companies, into the strategy team of companies. So, and some of them have their own startups, some of them become CEOs. So I know many parents are worried about placements, but a lot of designers not just get into the top companies from UID, but they also sort of start their own startups, and they can employ other designers. So that's what we feel very, very proud of. And why you should study design at UID is really, I mean, it really has to start with your passion. If you love what you do, like I know I personally went into design because I love to draw and I love to do things for other people. And you could work out why you want to pursue design, but it comes from within. If you are a designer, you know within yourself that you're a designer. So you follow your passion, you learn how to ask the right questions, because everything stems from asking the right questions. And I know many students do ask me, what do we look for? But we look for students who ask the right questions at every stage. And we also would like to prove your career, sort of ensure that you get good placements right from the beginning, and also gain real world experience, and also diversify your skill set. Colonel, would you like to say anything about this, because careers are really important? Okay, so Colonel will be talking a little bit more about the placements at UID, the placement process, and I'll hand it over to him.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Let me just, once you go out, I'll just share the placement brochure. So, just to recap some of the important issues as to why look at UID.
Sorry, you want that presentation shared, the same one?
Yeah, I just wanted
Oh,
to be
I'm
shared.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Madam, you can share that presentation again.
Yeah. No. I have a separate presentation. I don't want that presentation.
All right.
I want to share which I have placed now,
Okay.
and please let me know if it is there. Can everyone
Yes,
see?
visible.
It's visible. Yeah. I'll go along it if it allows how it can be seen. But let me before I get into the placement brochure per se, that uh, it contains the entirety of what the students have done. It has their LinkedIn profile. It has their profile, their portfolio. It also has their social media. Uh, while we look at the placements in some way or the other, let me see. I'll just get the other one there. Just a sec. So, so if we can't see it properly, I think I'll share it. But in the meantime, let me just give a certain beyond some of the major points. A very futuristic curriculum, some of the best faculty, supported by about nearly 60 technicians because we have a large number of labs. Uh, I think probably this is the only university which has had 40 research and publications just declared by the ICORD, which is out of some led by the Indian Institute of Sciences, Bangalore. I've just received word yesterday that 40 of our publications have been put up for Scopus. The average salaries for our undergraduate is somewhere in the region of 10 to 12 lakhs. For the masters, it's 14 to 16 lakhs, but these are the median figures. We've had figures up to 26 lakhs also in some of the UI UX companies born out of Bangalore, etc. So all that will be there once Dion shares the placement brochure with you, which has entirety of how the whole uh, uh, every student's profile is there. It's in the QR, etc. The best part is that we look at from the beginning. That's while looking at the year one, we also look at what is post, what are the type of options open. So you have a standing uh, incubator, KIIF. Students they've received up to 24 lakhs for their initial funding, which goes in installments. There has been success of about 8 or 9, which have reached at least the second stage. The KIF and the DDSTI, that's the Defense Design uh, uh, Incubator, is also the nodal center for the Southern Army. So a lot of import substitution happens in our Maker Lab. Um the Discover Cultural Design and taking it forward, we have a whole crafts village here. And the best part is we have been able to manage and maintain a faculty student ratio of 1 is to 12. So any class, if it's a theory class that has got one main faculty and someone to manage, but for any practical and tutorial, there are a minimum of 2 and at times 3 faculty members because in small groups, they are divided on what their project is, the entire design process. So these are some of the areas which we need to look at. Unfortunately, I couldn't show the entire placement book. I can show it here that with all the students' names, all their, and this is the QR code where they have placed all their portfolios. So the companies, let me read out. They are with Swiggy. They are with uh, Maruti Suzuki. They are with Tata Elxsi, Ashok Leyland. So these are all every student's profile with their uh, Behance Net, their LinkedIn, and their own social media students, including for any prospective employer, what are the program electives which we have offered. So we have the system of open and electives. We also have a system where each program has what are the main areas of each program. So it's a very comprehensive document, very created with a lot of care and affection. Students have contributed. If you see, the best part is, sorry, I didn't tell you that it has been curated by our faculty and students. So there are the students who have who are the ones who have created this placement book for us. And they have worked very hard on the entire process. And I think I can show you the name of the faculty and the students. There are about 15 students who have been part of curating it. So, and therefore, we have something called the Corporate Connect. So, how does a student recognize? So, there are a number of students as part of our placement team. The faculty who are part of the placement team. There are the HODs who are part of the placement team. And we have a 5-member team who go out. Their mandate is to be 15 days out of campus, visiting Bangalore, visiting Mumbai, Calcutta, Delhi NCR, Indore, Jaipur, in getting to bring what is the other mandate to bring them into campus. So I think these are beyond some of the important aspects. We are open to any question answers anyone would like to tell us, and we are there to answer them.
All right, all right. Tremendously impressive. I think some of the key things are your focus on placements. I think that is the most prominent thing that came out of this particular discussion. And the second aspect is the focus on AI and the emerging technologies, how you're incorporating that. So glad that you all brought that out. Thanks for that. Some questions from the audience. We'll start off with Minal Agarwal's question. What is the difference between BDES and BDES honors?
So since we said that everything is globally benchmarked, and if our global design program is just one instance, they get 50 CPS, which is equivalent to a semester in Australia. They get 30 ECTS, which is equivalent to anyone in the Schengen and the UK, in the Europe region, and they get 60 credits, which is part of the QA, which is the UK system. Now, if you look that the honors has many aspects to it. It gives depth, it gives recognition. So when they go or someone sees that equivalence, it is equivalent to the BA honors or the BSc honors of any program in UK. There have been instances that students who have got NID or gone abroad after a year have joined us because our lateral entry system is open for 1 or 2 years. So that allows us that the system in the KU does a lot of how the lateral entries are seen. So BS honors, B honors of UK, honors of other countries, and our honors gets us already in a platform that we are recognized, because while curating the GDP program, 5 universities across the world, and now they will do 2 courses in SCAD. And we had the SCAD team yesterday, and I'm sure the social media will show. And they'll be going from next year, that's in the academic year 24-25. So they will get the credits of USA. So our global design program, we thought, is truly global. East, that's Australia's, Asia, that's India, Europe, and USA. I think we couldn't have done better for BDES. Dion, you are switched off.
Can't hear you.
Yes. Sorry. A question from Smita Adarsh. We would like to know the process of the entrance. Is it offline or online? And the portfolio and interview, is that also going to be offline or online?
Yeah. So I'll just take it forward. And there again, we have to thank AI, America, India, and not artificial intelligence. Why I'm trying is that there was a time we were running our courses in 25 cities. We went and they were straight pen and paper. But since the advent of AI and very proctored system developed by someone in the AI, it's online, which is the first iteration, tier 1, which has a curation, which involves some questions which are the SAT type, that is arithmetic, logic, understanding general knowledge, understanding current affairs, etc. But also, as it goes into the 15 mark and the 50 mark, you have to solve some of the very, very intricate issues which are given. Either you see patterns or you see how a certain way we have placed that program. So once the cutoff out of nearly about 7,000 applications which come to us, once that cutoff is there, they come to campus for what is called the studio test. This happens once your secondary exams get over. In the studio test, there are two parts of it, 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the afternoon. You have to be in campus. We make arrangements for your logistics and get the buses from your hotel to the campus. We look after your parents, and there's a lot of places where they can sit and eat and also view our galleries and some of the places where we have displayed student work, because it's the student work which is more important to us than any other type of work. That is what is generally a 2D to 3D, where certain material is given, certain instructions are given. They have to construct 3D on some of the aspects, and then they have to write a caption. They have to write 100 words of what they have done and the process they followed. And someone going around with a camera captures everything. In the afternoon, there's a team which assesses it, and similar thing for the second iteration, which is the another 2.5 hours of similar, but it tests your psychographics, it tests all the measurements we would like to have regarding if we look at how the program is. The next day, they have a 20-minute portfolio display, portfolio evaluation. Now, these are very important because the jurors are not, only one juror is from the campus, other juror is either an academic or someone of repute in that particular area. So we mix that up over 3 days, 20 minutes with a lot of stalls. They show their portfolio. The marking system is 30, 30, 40 for getting in percentage terms to get 100. So I think that answers that question. Yeah.
All right. There's another question. Will the NID or UCID scores be considered?
So we have what is called the design aptitude test. There are, and you'll see it once the admission letters go. There are some scholarships for certain, not all NIDs, but certain NIDs score. It's not only accepting that score, but also giving you a scholarship of nearly either it's entire scholarship or there's a percentage scholarship for UC then NID. So these will come out, just await the admission instructions, where not only, so there's a cutoff there also, where you have reached in the UC then where you have reached in the NID.
I put in a poll out there.
Yeah, Manisha ma'am, you wanted to say something?
No, I just said you're on mute again.
Yeah, so I put in a poll for the audience, and this is for the ones, just to identify the ones who have participated in the design hackathon. Those who have participated in the design hackathon and are in class 12, UID is organizing a visit to the campus. All right, of course, and this will be planned sometime in October or November. We're still working on that, but the idea is to see if you would like to do that visit in October or November, and it'll be on possibly on a Friday and Saturday, where you get to visit Ahmedabad. Your flight, accommodation, and stay would be included. Also, a visit to NID if possible, right? So we're just trying to see the possibility of that, and that's the reason why this poll. So I'm going to end this poll for those who have not taken it yet. You can possibly click in over here in the next minute. Kunal Gandhi is asking, when is the entrance exam? What is the format of the exam? Will it be online or offline? That part we've covered. What is the fee structure, including the hostel fees? and what is the amount needed to block the seat? Okay, so multiple questions in this. So we'll start off with, we'll repeat that. When is the entrance exam?
So the entrance exam this time is scheduled in the month of January. That's will be later. The moment I think we are into the Navratri and into the festivity season of India in that sense. But very soon the admission parts will be known. The only area which keeps us into a certain amount of decision making is it clashing with any of the examination. Regarding the fees, hostel, what are these are all going to be part of it, and allow me few days to share with Dion, and he can share with you. What I can say is that the pricing is kept very reasonable as compared to some of the others. We put a lot of effort to make our students successful and give that element of joy to the parents when they see success of the wards who, after class 12, join us. It is intense, like Manisha ma'am said, as compared to, I can say uh, it really challenges a student because they are against tough competition. And we are in a competitive world and they have to succeed. The part which I missed out is that today I received from SCAD. So there are about nearly 25 of our students in SCAD at the moment. And I met them, some of them in Savannah, and I met a few of them in Atlanta in my last visit to USA. Similarly, they are in Parsons, they are in FIT, they are in RMIT, they are in Swinburne, they are in Switzerland, they are in Germany. So this is one part that coming to UID at least prepares you to be global. So every year about 80 students of ours go abroad. But the part which I haven't answered because the instruction would be clear about every aspect of fees, semester-wide fees, the hostel, the types of hostel, because we have 3-bedroom and 2-bedroom, air conditioned, and but the preference is for the first year. We always give preference to the year one or the admission students in the hostel allotment. And by the second year onwards, students move out. As you know, Ahmedabad is one of the safest cities. Your students drive at night, 2 o'clock in the motors, in their scooters, girls. So that is something which is actually unique of this culture of this place. Yeah. Dion switched off.
Yeah, yeah. What is the
Default.
amount needed to block the seat?
So it comes in two parts. It's about 1 lakh, 1.5 lakhs is the initial when the offer is there, and there's a payment by which you have to make that payment. There's also a system that should you decide not to join, except for a very minimum amount, you can even withdraw, but there are cutoff dates. This part of the admission letter will share. Our admissions team will share it with Dion, who can then share it with Dion.
Sure, sure, sure. So Kunal, I hope that answers your question. There is a refund policy. They'll share that
Yeah,
later.
yeah, yeah.
But on that note, we recommend that you don't make the payment to multiple schools. You just choose one of the schools and make the payment, but just works out better, right? For everybody. Surya Jaydev is asking, do students choose their major at the time of admission or after year one?
So that's a very interesting, very nice question. And that also has various replies, but let me give you the straight reply. That at the time of filling up your admission forms, you generally give two choices. And at the time of payment, you have homed on to a product design or the visual communication, the animation, gaming, or transportation and mobility, or interior and furniture, or fashion and styling, and these and programs. Yeah. The year one, thankfully, and it's a good thing that it's a mixed bag. You are all in one. The classes have no distinction. There are no silos. You're taught anything and everything for becoming a designer, for taking it forward. But there's also now these decisions were sometimes peer, sometimes pressure, sometimes parental. So you get a time in which you can make a change in your choice. Uh, and then it is something where after some time you realize with your peers, with your seniors, with faculty who are engaging you as mentors, and the entire chain of associate professors, HODs, and director, you can make that choice at a particular time. All these, I think, aspects get covered, but it is not something that it is de rigueur, and it is something which has some explanation. But should you want a particular choice, there is an option for that change. Yeah.
And I'd just like to add to this that there are later on, even when you move to the second and third year, there are pathways, as Colonel had said, that there would be the opportunity, for instance, for product design students to do an animation elective or an interiors elective. And that way you can sort of experiment with other specializations. Should you choose to do your master's later in that area, you know what you really love to do and what you really want. So it does give you that pathway and possibilities.
So, in a way, to take it forward, a design has endless possibilities. You are not a designer for today, you're a designer for life. Like a doctor, you can practice it at various points in time of your life, like a painter, etc. And sometimes you are at some level, sometimes you are at a higher level, sometimes you are at a project which occupies you. We have got so many faculty who have taken their year off to do a particular project in Pondicherry or a project somewhere else. So it's very much part of the heart, part of the passion, part of your dedication which you want to give to. But on the open elective and others, because we also have a very multidisciplinary approach, we see how is it evidence. Some of my students in Parsons is doing design management. Some for fashion, they develop some streak towards industrial design. So it's a whole way how one navigates and how they feel of contributing to society. At the end, we tell them you have to be a very responsible designer. We have lots in haves and have nots. So they do a social design project. It's part mandated in the curriculum where they do there. We also have NSS and NCC in the campus. So it gives a very good view of growth as a citizen of India to be, so look at social design, to look at social projects. You also have huge amount of sports facilities. Children play football, cricket, hockey. There's a huge ground. So it develops you in many ways as a design.
All right. All right. Soul Sisters is asking, please elaborate about communication design facility at your institution.
Okay. The first thing is, as a communication designer or any student, you have to be ethical, and therefore you only have to have licensed software. So as I said, the Adobe was here not for any reason, because they saw in our communication design students that some of the products which they offer globally, we can be part of telling them what is the next step of doing that. Communication design, ma'am, is part of the communication design of NID. At that time, the VC has grown into communication design, which has now enveloped quite a lot. The best part is from second semester, communication design student gets employable because she gets her pocket money by doing small booklets, certain areas where she can look at. We have had companies who come for master classes who have semester 3 students, semester 5 students have been working with them on something to develop and hone their skills. So facility wise, I think seeing is believing. If you can please come here and have a look at the type of, if we are investing about 4.5 crores in animation and in the AI labs, we have a comprehensive computer lab. And the best part is we have also neighborly the United World Institute of Technology, who run computer and a lot of courses of engineering. So there's a happy mix when we have to teach machine learning or we have to look at IoT. So the faculty from that core engineering, core computers also part of our the number of faculty in campus. Yeah. So I think we have very good facility. The Delhi campus has a huge Apple lab, and it's not only just the computer; it's also the added supporting structure and the type of guidance and the type of instructions which they receive. So these projects bring them live projects is something we always work at. So just because I don't have evidence, we just had a visit by the IBM and the Microsoft, who have opened offices very small in the gift city, which is trying to do a great financial services to take something out of Hong Kong, to take something out of Dubai, and make Ahmedabad another financial capital in some way, though it can never compare with Mumbai at this point in time. So they have started opening these offices and they have started to come to campus to see can our students do some of their use cases.
Interesting. We're coming towards the end. Last few questions we'll take for this. Purajan is asking, what is the collaboration with foreign universities, summer projects, exchange programs, etc.? I know you've covered this already.
Yeah. So I'll give a snapshot. I'll give a snapshot. So these are legally verified, vetted MOUs, which have a number of areas. One is faculty mobility. So with our GDP program, every faculty goes along with the students, stays there for 2 weeks, delivers lectures, delivers symposium. So the faculty just returned from UK, stayed there for 3 weeks, is also a graduate alumnus of one of the UK's London College of Fashion. So she spent time with the students. So while doing that, we also do what is called faculty mobility. The second part of our MOU is that a faculty from that should come to our campus and deliver a certain number, 30 hours, 60 hours, or stay with us for a week, 4 weeks. Yeah. Summer schools, the brochures are circulated, like SCAD was there. Then every, say, anyone who comes to India from a foreign university makes UID one destination because either they've heard of it or it is through them. The best part is we are also members of the 4 top associations of the world. Manisha ma'am, myself, and Professor Dheeraj receive anything and everything happening in the World Design Organization. We are part of Cumulus, where our faculty have gone and stayed there. We are part of IFTI, which is the topmost 40 institutions of fashion technology. Our university is part of the global Commonwealth University system, and we are part of the AIU, that's the Association of Indian University. So legally and structurally, and we have our associates with some of the top universities. So through them, we get newsletters, we share our newsletters. It helps us in MOUs. So in UK, while we have with Nottingham, we're also talking to Marangoni London campus, which is in next to the Brick Lane. We're also talking to Goldsmith. We also have a MOU with Southampton. So we keep increasing our thing. And the president and our faculty are quite prolific in their travels across to bring global perspectives into the classroom.
All right. A lot of questions coming. I'm not sure if we can take all the questions at this stage, but we'll try. There's an interesting question. So Minal Agarwal is asking, what's the difference between the fees for BDAS and the BDAS honors? But there is another question that I'd like to bring in at this stage, which is a question from, hold on, I lost that. Yeah, a question regarding the the global design program, right? If you can elaborate the difference between the global design program and the rest.
So first is that we only deliver BDES honors, and BDES is history. About 4 years back, 3 years back, we had BDES. So all courses with so it qualifies anything which is more than 150 credits in the credit system of the UGC can be dealt with as BDES honors or anything undergraduate honors. So our credit structure moves beyond that. The Global Design Program is unique. It's the only program of its kind in India. The students go for what is called 3 semester abroad. That is, they go to Swinburne in Australia. And they go to Poly-Me, which is Politecnico di Milano. And they will be going to the Savannah College of Art and Design. Uh, yeah. So this is what came from the SCAT team yesterday. So, and they do something which is equivalent to their semesters of that course. Now, come to think of it, the amount of uh, expenses, the type of getting into a course abroad. We are providing a global course for our students that the first year they stay here, they do many courses along with our 1 year foundation. But there are certain additions by which that some of the global mechanisms, global standards, global admission, global academic structures to prepare them for these. So once they come back from Australia, we try and prepare them. They do a Italian language course. They understand the Italian assessment. There are a number of orientations by that institution. There are many visits. They come and they teach. So that's the way they do a course, which is very, very global, as if they have gone for a 4 year course abroad. Now, there are subtle differences in countries. Some there's the IELTS, which is required. Italy doesn't require that. English speaking requires some amount of IELTS, but also they look at your threshold of how many your progression, your marks, etc. What happens and what is evidences, and this is something which is now coming from the first batch. And maybe sometime beyond, I'll share a video of these students who say that, thank you so much, sir. You didn't have to teach us everything. We learned such a lot to navigate in Milan. 14 of them are part of the Milan Design Week, which they wouldn't have been had they just not been part of any Italian institution. Once they go to Savannah, there's such a great type of faculty and all types of infrastructure. They get understanding how to do well amongst the multicultural and multinational class and the multinational teaching. So this is very much valued by the employers. So if I say that it takes a month to put these 700, 800 students into internship, it has taken just 1 week for the GDP students to be taken up with the. Now, why is it? Most companies are now global. They teach Mandarin, they teach Italian, they teach Spanish for 3 months to someone whom they have taken from an engineering school or design school and make them work for that ecosystem. When you already have made friends across the world, when you have already learned the language, the culture, you've been there, you get a step up from all other competitive institutes. That I think is the greatest asset of global design.
All right. And there is a fee difference, right?
Yeah, there's a fee difference, but we pay, so there's no tuition fee they have to pay. They have to only look at the visa fee. They have to do, and you get very cheap Airbnb. You also get sometimes halls of residence, which is not never sure, but you can get some of the halls of residence. And we know that in a way, if you cook, you can. It's much more affordable than being in India because a lot of food they have, and we would get them to be healthy and not consume food outside. And every place, wherever they go, and the place they stay always has a kitchenette and or a central kitchen where they can cook and
All right. I'm going to
also learn. Yeah.
rush you through the next set of questions,
Hmm.
both of you all. So, is the admission for global design program, is it the same as the BDAS honors, or is there a
Yeah,
different
it
process?
is the same. It's at the interview and at the second tier where people see a little bit of
All
do they
right.
have it in them. Yeah.
All right. Any difference in process and fee structure for OCI or PIO card holders?
Yeah. So there's no process, but there's a different system. For the OCI, and there's a separate system which happens in the month of June. They have to just do their portfolio evaluation. That's a different fee structure. And gradually we'll try to do a proctored program, a proctor examinations. We've done it for South African students. We've done it for Sri Lankan students. Uh, they can also opt to do either. They can either come to in the OCI NRI part of it, or they can come for a regular program and appear for all the three tests,
All right.
or opt for the NRI version, which is only looks at portfolio evaluation.
Got that. Got that. Rekha Philip is asking, what's the typical timeline for the second round at the campus? Which month?
Uh, Actually, there's no second round, but this is called tier two of the exam. That is the so it's generally the moment some of the so it is time to them getting free out of the secondary schooling examinations. So there's CBSE, there's various other boards examination. It starts sometimes from the end of March and closes by April, uh, and maybe a few weeks or the first week of May. But generally, based on the size and based on the performance, it just sees that it doesn't contradict conflict with their examinations, or they have time that.
Well, all right. All right. Radhakrishnan is asking if there's accommodation for students. This has been covered earlier. Yes, there is accommodation in hostels, primarily for the first year students. They get preference. Um, but yeah, go on.
So there is the main campus where there's hostels only for girls, and about 1,200 odd students of entire KU get accommodated. There's the extended North Campus, which has the boys and the girls hostel with messing, laundry, all the facilities. There's also something called the United Homes, which is about 6 to 7 kilometers away from here. It's our space, though hired premises, which has all the facilities. So the buses come and buses go. Food is served there. It is a lot of markets nearby. So they get out of campus sort of experience. So these are the three places you can book, and there's a whole admission team which can help you
All
navigate.
right. All right. Bhavan Kamani is asking, and Radhakrishnan is also asking, what's the total number of seats for BDES
Yeah. So
at GDB?
yeah. So it is generally we have the announced of 600 and a GDP of another 50. Yeah. At times we have exceeded with UGC's permission to 700 and 800, but it's within this parameter that we have the uh, and similarly for both the campuses, the NCR also has a similar type.
All right. All right. All right. Surya Jaidev is asking for IB students, the final exams are in April, May. Will the tier two part of the application be after that?
So the tier two is something which is open and people and parents and students can opt for which is the part they would like to join. Since there are a lot of IB students with us, there are also students from the Cambridge GCSC. So you can choose which is the slot you want to come on the day to come. That's quite flexible and quite left to you or the to choose when they would like to come.
All right. Now, question for Madam Manisha, Madam. You spoke about animation and gaming, but what about UI, UX, graphics, and other design majors?
Yeah,
And
I'll
in
actually, before she
extension,
comes, I think we
extension
got,
to that,
yeah.
Komala Ramaswamy is asking, can you throw some light in the design department placements?
Okay, okay. So, so let me take the fashion design before ma'am, who's an authority in UI UX and has done practiced it and done before on that. So this is just a snapshot, ma'am, and don't and we'll share it with you. Zinia Subhendu, Tarun Terliani, Anushka Tarun Terliani, Prachi, Rahul Mishra, Viral Ashok, Tarun Terliani, Tisha, Rahul Mishra, Anushka, Amit Agarwal. I know Amit Agarwal quite well because we were in Netherlands for about 20 days, few years back, many years back rather. At that time, he was not such a top designer as he is now. Anishka Maheshwari, Amit Agarwal, Dronika Naval, Rohit Gandhi and Rahul Khanna, Palak Agarwal interned with Dolly J, Sanjeevani Lahiri with Gaurika and Nayanika, interned with Samruddhi Katwe, Ritu Kumar. So we are trying to exceed. And as I said, the good part is that Professor D has joined us, who has been a tutor from Manish Malhotra to Sabyasachi to all the people whom you know. And he's an authority on construction because you may have very conceptual knowledge, you may have something which looks very nice, but when it comes to the the structures, the finishes, what will make people buy, that is something which I think now we are on a higher trajectory to up our game in fashion design to be equivalent to any and every perceptually who are been there in that game for a very long time. Sunil Sethi, FDCI, is a very good friend. And last year, he won the doctorate for he was conferred the doctorate degree at our convocation. UI UX in the form of interaction design, BDS honors, is something where I talked about that. Looking at international faculty, also national faculty, they are from the IIT Kanpur, IIT Delhi, and some practicing. Ma'am, who has been in the pre-part of Tata LXC, and three of my students also interning at Wakefield in the Bangalore. So, ma'am, can you throw more light on how we have looked at curating the interaction design program and the UI
Sure.
UX part? Yeah.
UI UX or user interface and user experience design, this is a very important department for us. And it's not just a department because we teach UI UX as a part of product design. We teach it also as a part of visual communication. And it also forms a part of game design. So it really is something that cuts across because there is a lot of demand for this specialization in the industry. A lot of corporates like TCS. So mentioned, I'm myself from the Tata Group. I worked in the Tata Group for a long time, so there is a lot of demand for skills in UI UX and a knowledge of technology, knowledge of how we can harness AI in our work in the industry in fact, for designers. So what we have done is right from really understanding user needs to understanding the technology, the tools like Photoshop, Figma, and others,
Many.
to actually working on internships and bringing the industry to the classroom. We have the best of master classes with speakers from Amazon and Microsoft and others regularly visiting. So at every stage, we sort of build it up from a knowledge and awareness to a skill to really practicing in the industry. So we prepare our students well from this perspective.
So today we had a rep from Cred, Bangalore. We had someone from Amazon and someone Sumit Dey who has been part of IBM. So we keep doing these type of either human computer interaction or looked at certain areas where the human and the object are interacting through UX. Uh, so we keep doing that. So it was a 3-day symposium come masterclass. I think the cred guy who met me just left for Bangalore, and Amazon and IBM will stay for some time. So while it's being taught, it also gets to be part of our live projects in campus.
I have to interrupt at this stage. We are way beyond time. Um, one or two last questions we'll take. Radhakrishnan is asking, students from Gulf countries or Middle East with an Indian passport, should they apply under resident quota
Yeah.
or resident, right?
So yeah, they
You
can.
have the
So
option.
we have a number of students from Oman. We have a number of students from the Gulf region, both in the GDP and in regular programs. So it's a last minute you can change and check. The ones who go through the normal is through the normal entry process. The ones who want to get into the NRI and those quota, there's a different process. So this is something which is quite easy for our admissions team. They have handled it in the past. So
Yeah. All right.
get
Surya Jaydev is asking, what are the expectations on the portfolio? Can you share some pointers? All right. Is it better to submit work based on specialization we want to pursue? Quick
yeah.
answer.
Yeah. So quick answer is your passion, your
Yeah.
dedication, and your individuality. So when we say some of your failed projects, some of the things you're not satisfied with, or something you made but you can't improve, even though it is part of portfolio. It shows how individual you are. Means just before Manisha ma'am, who's an expert, will speak on it because we have been doing. Someone who came and recited a poem or has a book of something which is very interesting she has done. Well, we don't expect fully made portfolios. They're just in class 12. They're just starting on their journey. So the portfolio should be from the individual, from the heart, showing the passion. That's what the juror wants to see. Manisha, yeah.
Yes, so absolutely. We're really looking forward to how you tell your story. And it could be through sketches. I know some of you would be really good at sketching, or it could be through colors, or it could be maybe you like aero modeling, or I mean, you like singing or dance. Sometimes any creative profession really adds up, and you can just put your best foot forward. We really want to see how creative you are, how you ask questions and how you really tell your story well. So that's all. And you have to just be yourself with your portfolio.
And at the other end, they're very mature people who have done this and who are part of this whole ecosystem at some stage. They understand that nothing perfect is. There's a difference between this portfolio and the portfolio after 4 years when you are against a 3-member interviewing team from maybe Landor or Ogilvy or from IBM or Capgemini or TCS or all these big techs who are taking our students at great large measures.
All
Beyond,
right. And with
yeah,
that,
yeah, thanks.
we come to an end of the session. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Another really, really wonderful interactive session from the audience. I'm very happy with the questions that the audience has asked. We've had to extend our time because of that. So fantastic. Uh, Colonel Bose, uh, Professor Manisha, fantastic interaction with you all. Thank you so much for taking the time out to be here. Um, for
thank
those
you,
of
Jivan, for
you
having us. And it
Thank you
gets
so
to
much.
tell our story. We may do it through various means, social media, this, that. But this is a heart-to-heart exchange with some of the students, the parents who are a little bit apprehensive and confused of where to go. But I can tell you with open arms, UID is a place to be, not as a part of a advertisement spiel, but the amount of work we try to make them successful.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that. And for those of you who have more questions and would like to connect with the UID team, I've put in the contact details of Mr. Ashish Gupta. Name and phone numbers there. So please save that and reach out to him if you require. And it's also in the description of this particular webinar. So you can find it there. And all the best to you once again. Thanks, Ashish, for getting this organized.
And beyond for you, my students at the Milan Triennale, along with the Polymeti. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. That's fantastic. All right.
All
And
the
the
best.
placement brochure, Colonel Bose will share it with me and we'll share it with
Yeah.
all of you all on the group. right?
Thank you,
Thank-
thank you for
thanks so much
having
once
us.
again.
Yeah.
If
Thank
all
you.
can
Thank you
remain
so
Thank you so
much.
much,
here,
sir. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
Manisha
ma'am.
ma'am.
yeah.
Thank you.
If you all
Ashish.
can